Regarding my strength, I have participated in multiple events, and so I feel I am a good team player. And so regarding my hobbies, I like traveling and listening old music. So that's it.
So why are you doing MBA and why you have done BTech in mechanical? What was the purpose behind these two degrees?
So, sir, doing my BTech in mechanical engineering, the prime reason was my interest in physics, and that mainly in the mechanical parts. Sir. I loved I was very intrigued about knowing the working of the automobiles,
Mm,
how they work, and how they perform various tasks, and the different types of automobiles that is there in the market.
mm,
So that was something that has fascinated me from very early time. So that
mm.
was the reason to join mechanical.
So you must be going that field. Why are you here in IBACIU job examination?
Sir, I have worked in after completing my BTech, sir. I worked on the technical part, sir.
Mm,
But while working, I realized that having a managerial role is very vital for this type of job. And by having that, we can contribute to larger of the organization. So that was one of the reasons that I further decided to pursue my study. But since because of lockdown, I have been at home for almost an year, and I was staying with my father, sir, and I saw his working, the challenges he was facing in his work, and that intrigued me very much. And at the same time, I got the opportunity to apply for the IB job.
mm.
So that was the reason, sir, I applied for it, and I want
Oh,
to come in this organization.
okay. You which kind of unit? It is a intelligence unit or it is a civil police unit? Which kind of unit?
So it is he is posted in a state in a district police station, sir, near the
Okay.
Nepal border.
Okay, and that is a civil police job and not
Yes,
in
sir.
any special task force like this.
No, sir.
Okay, so tell me what is the uh, mechanical use in intelligence bureau? Means that ki, how can you implement your mechanical engineering knowledge in intelligence bureau?
Yes, sir. So first thing, I would say in a broader term
Mm,
that is related to BTech, sir. So since I have studied the technical subject in 4 years, so I have developed a thought process which is very rational and scientific in nature. If any problem is given to me, I look it in a rational approach. So that is one thing I have learned, sir.
mm,
And during the study phase, sir, I have worked on various projects as well. So I have figured out the working of different types of machines and all those things
mm.
which can come handy in future.
Okay, so now tell me that five machines or tools that can be helpful to our security forces and our intelligence organizations.
Okay, sir.
Mm,
So one is a proper automobile, sir, a vehicle.
yeah, okay.
Second can be, sir, any tools that can be used for self-defense purposes. So it can
Okay.
be anything from a screwdriver to a gun or a knife. It can be anything, sir.
Okay.
Sir, other things I can recall is systems like a system supporting infrastructure that is required, like the you can see these are additional things which can come, sir.
Okay,
I
okay, fine.
couldn't recall the other.
Okay, fine. Then fine. It's okay. Now tell me what was the job role of your in that company where you have worked for any years?
Okay, sir. Sir, I was working in a company that was known as Inform, and sir, I joined there as a graduate engineer training.
Uh,
In the initial days, sir, I have worked with different departments like the manufacturing department, the project management department, and quality control department. And later, I was assigned a project to handle clients like PSU company like IOCL and Steel Authority of India Limited.
okay, then which type of skills and which type of qualities do you have developed there in that company?
The most vital thing that I have learned there is to make a balance between the technical and managerial skill. and use it effectively in a way that we can contribute to the organization. The
Okay.
second is how to manage the work with the teams. Sir, when I went there, I was not very able to communicate with the people there because they were workers and they normally used to talk in Bengali language. So I have learned the new language there as well, and that has helped me to communicate with them properly.
So today now, how many languages and dialects can you uh, understand and how to speak?
So one is the Hindi language, sir. Sir, another is English language.
Yes.
I can read and write and speak both these two languages well. Sir, I can read and write Sanskrit language as well. Sir, I can speak Bengali language. And sir, during my college days and after that, sir, I have also learned Russian language.
Okay.
So I can read and write basic Russian, sir.
Okay. Now come to the your district. It's Muzaffarpur, Bihar.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell me the basic issues, problems of your of the people of Muzaffarpur. What are the basic issues?
Sir, the most prominent thing that I'm facing, I can see here is that the lack of infrastructure that is here, sir. Sir, I have been staying in the city, and once there is monsoon and the city gets flooded badly, it's very tough to get out. So the basic drainage and the road infrastructure is something that is very much required here. And I think with the smart city project, the things are improving there as well, but a lot needs to be done.
And what about the unemployment issue or unorganized crime ratios and literacy of women and even I think I can say that notorious for some terrorist uh, activities also.
Regarding sir, the unemployment issues and there has been problem with this, sir. The problem has been persistent from quite some time due to lack of sir infrastructure.
Mm.
Sir, earlier there used to be sugar mills and other factories that used to give employment to people, but with the lack of government support, sir, these factories has closed. So the employment issue has been growing here, sir. Regarding literacy, sir, I think if I'm not mistaken, the literacy ratio of the city is somewhere about 83%, and sir, the urban people are well educated, but the peoples that are staying in village still face the problem of literacy and higher education. And sir, regarding the terrorist activities, sir, I cannot recall it at the moment. So,
Okay. I am remembering that some terrorists are caught there.
sorry, sir, I couldn't
Okay.
recall, sir.
Okay, then fine. Tell me the basic problems faced by your state.
So, one of the major issue that has came up with this our state is the migrant issue.
Mm.
Sir, since we do not have so much of industry, so lot of people goes to the other state for employment.
Mm.
And the other factor is the social parameters on which Bihar stand very last. Even the recent report by Niti Aayog has positioned Bihar in very last position on the social parameters, sir. And regarding literacy is also here, sir, poverty is a major challenge as well. So
Okay.
these are some of the major problems.
So you are given a chance to suggest government for betterment of your state. Uh,
Yes.
so suggest 5 points, 5 main points that you want to suggest, Mr. Nitish Kumar. Suggest here.
Can I take 15 seconds to think?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, Mr. Sunny Shekhar,
Yes, sir.
कभी भी आप 10 सेकंड 15 सेकंड्स 5 सेकंड्स अकॉर्डिंग टू मी नहीं कहिए कहिए कि सर आई वांट फ्यू सेकंड्स टू रिकॉल द आंसर प्लीज अलाउ मी फ्यू फ्यू कहा
Okay, sir.
कहिए क्योंकि 10 सेकंड 15 सेकंड्स ऐसा बोलते हैं तो थोड़ा सा ये बहुत मतलब कंजर्वेटिव टाइप लगता है कि 15 सेकंड्स है तो फिर 15 सेकंड्स कोई घड़ी पे देखे या कुछ फ्यू सेकंड्स कहिए फिर वो वेट करेंगे उन्हें बुरा लगेगा
तो
तो वो आपको टोक देंगे कि ऐसा है, चलिए रहने दीजिए, दूसरा सवाल, है ना? तो आप कहिए कि फ्यू सेकंड्स का, ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
ठीक है।
So the first thing that I would suggest is that since Nitish Kumar has been in power from quite some time, so he has worked a lot on the infrastructure part. But sir, I would first suggest him to bring a policy that would promote industries to come here, like it has been done by the UP government.
Very
So
good.
this is the first step. The second, I would ask sir, related to the health schemes that can be reached to the rural areas of the state, as Bihar is a state that has 90% of its population in its village. So women out there are still not very uplifted. So regarding their health and regarding their education, they need to be schemes more. And the third point would be, sir, related to, sir, education institutes, sir. Sir, a student like me, sir, has gone out to different states like West Bengal and Maharashtra for higher education. So, sir, here in our state there is lack of higher studies institutes, which I think would play a pivotal role in bringing skilled labors to the state as well. And the other I would suggest is related to the crimes, sir. There is need to bring out much more technical reforms in police department, as the crimes graph has been increasing these days, and so the state government has taken some proactive decisions to counter this as well.
And what about corruption in your state?
Sir, corruption, it has been a persistent problem, and since Bihar has a track record of corruptions from with earlier government, and if we are all aware about the Chara Ghotala and all the famous corruption cases, the things has improved gradually. Earlier, there used to be a very meager portion of a scheme or any incentives would reach to the end user. But sir, things with the advancement of technology, it is getting better, but a lot needs to be done. So,
And what about corruption done by police of Bihar? As we see in our India, the most corrupt police is of Bihar.
yes, sir. Sir, I can see some of the regions that I would like to share. The number one is the salary structure and the grade that is in which it is designed. But I think there is a need to revise the salary structure, as it has been there from quite some time, and people feel that it is inadequate for them to fulfill their needs. So that is one thing that I would suggest. Second, I feel that there is need to train the policemen as well, sir. As they are not very much educated, and they're not very much aware as how to deal with the different situations. And the third, I would suggest involving a more and more technological thing in it to bring transparency in the process. Like, sir, recently there has been a app launched by the district, I would say, where I'm staying with my father. An app has been launched where a person can get his character certificate online. So
Okay.
this type of process will help to reduce the corruption.
It means that digitalization should be implemented in
Yes,
policing in Bihar, will leads to less corruption.
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now compare your state, Bihar, with Kerala in terms of literacy, development, and women empowerment.
Okay, sir. Sir, if you look at the data by the Niti Aayog, sir, Kerala is among the top state as per Human Development Index. And sir, my state is Bihar is at almost at the last position, sir. The one reason is, sir, literacy, as literacy in our state is very down, and that in Kerala is very high. The second is, sir, standard of living and the social indicators, sir, like the health issue, the women's issue. These things are prevalent in our society due to patriarchal nature. And Kerala having a high literacy ratio, the state has developed very much. And sir, what was, sir, I forget the third point of comparison.
Literacy, women empowerment, and it may be development.
Okay, sir. Uh, since the per cap, since a large part of the Kerala population is very educated, and people normally tends to move to Gulf countries, so their per capita income is very high, sir. So they have a better living standard, and as a result of this, the women they are also very empowered because they get all the basic things they need for their life, and that is not the case with the state like Bihar, where most of the workers are migrant and unskilled. So the standard of living is very low. As a result of this, the woman empowerment is not there, sir.
Okay,
And
okay. Now,
yeah,
now, if you are given a chance, or I can say that responsibility to aware the people against corruption and all that negative things in your Bihar, and you are a senior officer having every kind of powers, then which type of awareness program, which type of things, which type of points will you suggest, and which type of programs will you run in your state to aware people for their rights and against corruption and against crimes and against बाहुबली, जो बाहुबली होते हैं आपके एरिया में उनके भी खिलाफ, कि उनके खिलाफ आप कुल मिला के पूरी की पूरी सोसाइटी के एम्पावरमेंट के लिए आप किन किन चीजों पे ध्यान देना चाहेंगे और क्या क्या सजेस्ट करेंगे?
the problem that you are saying is can be can be seen through two lenses. So the solution can be generic as well as specific as well. So when we talk about generic solution, the basic things that is need to be done is to have a proper plan on study. It means the education, sir. First thing that would need to be done is to educate people and improve the education system, sir. This will be the first part. The second, make people aware about their rights, sir. So there can be campaigns run through digital media or through sir platform or through district administration by which people can be made aware, sir. So regarding the rights and different ways they can reach to the government for the problems they are facing. So we can also introduce the technological part that we have discussed earlier as well. Like and like we can work on empowerment through the schemes that has already been there, like the Jan account. This type of account help. This type of scheme helps to reduce the middleman that is involved in the process, and it helps villagers to get direct benefit of the government schemes. So, taking this thing forward, sir, we can introduce new programs like, sir, we can form a self-help groups which can promote technology and can make people aware as how they can use them and connect with the government.
Okay. Okay, so tell me, have you ever been participated in any type of corruption?
Mm, no, sir, I don't think I have participated in corruption. At times, I have found culprit of some of the things which I have been penalized for, but I don't think I have been part of corruption.
Okay, have you ever paid bribe to any officer or any office?
No, sir, I
No,
haven't done
sir. Okay, have you applied for driving license?
that. Yes, sir.
Then I think you must be aware that the work is done only on the basis of bribe in our whole India.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the big issue. Then
Yes,
have you paid bribe for your work?
sir. When sir I applied for the driving license, sir, initially I went to the DTO, sir. There I followed the due process that was there initially,
Hmm.
but so later when things people were deliberate, sir, the officers there were deliberately delaying things, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in that situation, sir, there has been case where it was I was forced to indulge in some these types of activities.
Then you have
Yes, sir.
paid bribe.
Yes.
Then in previous question you have denied that you haven't even been part of any type of corruption, and now you have uh, told that you are a part of that chain.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if today someone asks you for bribe, then which type of steps should be taken from a aware citizen like you?
The first of all, sir, I would first check out the process that is involved in it. If I have everything right, all the documents that is required, I will first try to request the person involved directly. And if he doesn't agree, sir, then I would try to reach his senior authority. And even if that is not the case, I'll further escalate the issue to the district administrations as well.
And what is the role of Central Vigilance Commission or Central Vigilance Agency to
So,
control the corruption?
sir, there was a network issue. You have asked the role of CVC.
Actually, PIDPI, PIDP. PIDP is a PIDP is a program by Central Vigilance Commission for anti-corruption works. इसमें अगर आप अपने आसपास करप्शन देखते हैं तो आप शिकायत कर सकते हैं पीडपी के तहत, और इसमें वेबसाइट है और इसमें नंबर्स दिए गए हैं, टोल फ्री नंबर्स। तो सेंट्रल विजिलेंस कमीशन का भी रोल है, अगर आप स्टेट ऑफिसेस में या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में किसी के पास करप्शन देखते हैं तो सेंट्रल विजिलेंस कमीशन को आप डायरेक्ट इसमें इन्वॉल्व कर सकते हैं। आपको सेंट्रल डिस्ट्रिक्ट अथॉरिटी के पास जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर नीचे से पैसा बना करके ऊपर भेजा जा रहा है तो आपको पता है कि पूरे सिस्टम को उसी तरह मेंटेन किया गया है, और हो सकता है कि आपकी बात को इग्नोर किया जाए और आपको केवल परेशान किया जाए। तो इसके लिए सेंट्रल विजिलेंस कमीशन, एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो एवरी स्टेट में बने हुए हैं। तो आपको कहना चाहिए सर, इस केस में हर ऑफिस में ऑफिसर के केबिन के ऊपर एक चिपका होता है स्टिकर, वहां पर एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो का, सेंट्रल विजिलेंस कमीशन का स्टिकर लगा होता है और उसमें सारा प्रोसेस दिया जाता है कि क्या क्या करें करप्शन के केस में। डीएम एसडीएम के भी नंबर्स दिए होते हैं। अगर वहां से क्विक एक्शन नहीं लिया जाता है, तुरंत इमीडिएट आपसे कोई मिलने नहीं आता है, तो आप सेंट्रल विजिलेंस कमीशन की वेबसाइट पर जाकर के आप पूरी जानकारी दे सकते हैं और आपकी पहचान गोपनीय रखी जाती है और आपका समाधान किया जाता है। ठीक है?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now tell me your plans. If you join Intelligence Bureau as an ACIO, then what have you put in your mind to do after joining?
Sir, since the nature of this job is very diverse, so first I would like to give myself time to understand the tricks of the trade, and I will try to figure out how this organization works and what are my responsibilities. Once I get to understand these things, sir, I would like to interact with people on the ground, and I would like to try to sort out the problems that is going on in any particular area where I will be posted.
Then which type of area would you prefer in your first preference or first posting? J&K militancy, LWE, Northeast insurgency, coastal regions, या फिर कोई urban area? Which type of area will you prefer for your first posting?
Sir, I have been moving to different places from my childhood, so I'm open to any place that will be given to.
Okay, but in present time, which type of issue? LWE, any issue, या फिर J&K militancy issue? Which one issue you see that the biggest issue nowadays?
So I think the LWE issue is something that is very prominent and has been the biggest challenge for our country. And this, even our former PM Dr. Manmohan Singh had said that this is the most severe challenge to the internal security of the country. So I think currently this is issue that is very prominent in our country.
But I think LW is at its end age. Northeast issue is today the biggest issue right now. Even J&K militancy issue has been come to its last stage. What? Just tell me the what is the present status of left-wing extremism in our India?
As per the recent data, sir, there are 128 states which
Hmm.
is still infected by left-wing extremism, and out of which, sir, 58 state has reported violence. So things are gradually slowing down, sir. And if we talk about my state, sir, recently 6 states, including
I
my own
think
district, Muzaffarpur.
I think your data is not up to the latest data.
Okay, sir,
So
I'll look into it.
yes, yeah, definitely you should look into it because I am not satisfied with your answer. The data is not this much. But nowadays,
Okay, sir, I'll look into the data, sir.
okay, then fine. I am leaving this question only on your further studies, and I will after डिस्कस करेंगे हम इसको आपसे फोन कॉल पर ठीक है
Sir, even I can answer the question without data, sir, if you allow.
यस डेफिनेटली कंटिन्यू
Okay, sir. Sir, earlier the left wing was very much prevalent in the red corridor, but sir, with the passage of time, with the action of security forces and the Central Reserve Police forces, the area has been shrinking. And sir, the government has taken multiple steps, like they have specialized forces for them in order to sort out the issue, like the T60 or the Greyhounds. These are
यस
the forces doing the anti-Naxal operations, sir. And even sir, a state like Odisha and Jharkhand give people grants to drop the gun and join the mainstream.
यस
So these are some of the steps. Even this Samadhan scheme is there, sir,
यस
which was launched by the central government. So these are some of the steps that has been taken, and that has worked positively in shrinking the red corridors, sir.
okay now tell me some intelligence agencies of our India.
So, number one is sir the RAW, that is the External Intelligence Agency. Second is IB, sir. The third is Directorate General of Revenue Intelligence. The Directorate General of GST Intelligence, sir. And sir, Military Intelligence Unit. Even sir, for narcotics related things, we can say NCB also works as a intelligence engine.
Okay, and what about NTRO, NatGrid, JCB, and ED, NIA?
So these are different agencies that has very specific roles. Like sir, after the 2611, NIA was formed to specifically deal with the counter-terrorism activity. So earlier it used to be IB and the state government that used to deal with this issue, but after that NIA was formed. And sir, after 2611 itself, sir, concept like NCTC, NatGrid has came into effect. There has been steps taken by the government to streamline the process involved in fighting terrorism. Sir, regarding ED, sir, it is related to the financial frauds that is being done in the country. And other organization.
NTRO, JCB, Joint Cyber Bureau.
Sir, NTR is National Technical Research Organization. Works on different cyber security issues as well.
Okay. Now tell me your five qualities. Your five qualities that makes you a best candidate, best suitable candidate to select as an IB officer.
Okay, sir. Sir, even during my BTech days, I have participated in multiple national level events, sir. So I think I have a good team player and even can lead a team whenever required. Second, sir, I have lived in hostel from my very early age. So I feel I'm a very adaptable person. The third is that I have worked in corporate sector for almost 10 years. So I think I can be flexible with the task that will be given to me. And sir, I think I have a decent communication skill and I can communicate people with in a very free term and I can understand them things very easily. And sir, I think I have a very rational and scientific approach due to my BTech study. These are the five qualities I feel makes me good enough to get into this field.